Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee, the Hall of Famer, big game James Worthy, five-time champion Derek Fisher. Allie Clifton is here. You'll have Trudell and Brez taking care of the post-game sound. The Lakers get the easy win without Anthony Davis. They score 40 first-quarter points, guys, and they kind of cruised from there. 6 players, James, in double figures, and for the second consecutive game, they shoot 56% from the field.
Shared the ball pretty well, 32 assists total for the team. They came out and took Minnesota serious. Minnesota back-to-back games, a little short-handed without their star player, but didn't matter. The Lakers did a good job. Kuz coming out, replacing AD. I just thought they were very active on both ends of the court, got the fast break going. Pretty good defense.
Yeah, one of the keys to, being or becoming a great team is the ability to, be intentional about knocking people out. Like like James just mentioned, knowing that Minnesota was coming in off of a back-to-back, missing Karl Anthony Towns, clearly the better team. You go out, you send that message right away. You make tonight easy, prepare yourself for tomorrow and for the rest of your season. Great to get these kind of wins with LeBron in 26 minutes, not having to do too much to get him over the top. Happy for Kuz. Marc Gasol starting to get himself into a rhythm as well.
Yeah, 9 players hit threes a couple of nights ago on Christmas, 7 tonight. Lakers are shooting the ball well after a slow start to the season. We saw the complete Marc Gasol game. He is standing by with Mike Trudell.
All right, Marc Gasol, second straight game here at Staples Center. The ball's really popping around on offense. What have you seen from the early season development and how you guys are getting such good looks around the court?
We just continue to move, share the basketball, obviously, with him with that much talent offensively. We want to make it tough on defenses by moving the ball and helping each other.
Hey, in the first quarter especially, you and Kuz had a nice little connection. You found him for 2 of those 4 3-pointers. We saw that in the preseason as well, Mark. What about his game seems to click with the way that you pass the ball?
He moves. He moves without the ball. He does a great job. He has great size. He doesn't hesitate when he gets it. He has great confidence, and that's all very positive.
You were playing without Anthony Davis, of course. That changed the lineup. We mentioned Kuz going into it. Does that tell you something about the depth as well, that you can have this effective of a performance like this, even if Minnesota was out without Karl Anthony Towns, I should say? Yeah,
well, when you're out without a player like AD, you're going to feel it in different areas. But I thought we did a good collective effort to make up for that loss. I thought defensively we did a much better job on the ball and communicating and doing the schemes and executing the schemes that we had before the game, and finishing possession with rebounds for the most part. I know obviously in the first half we didn't rebound the ball as well, but we got a lot of stops.
And Mark, last one for you. Just wondering your early reactions to playing alongside LeBron James. You've been going against him for many years. What's it been like being on this side with him?
He's a very unique player. His IQ is it's very, very, very high. He's seen everything on both ends of the floor, and he's very unselfish. Great teammate to have. He has so many options that sometimes it's got to be hard for him.
Mark, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Yep, you guys take care.
All right, look at Marc Gasol, guys. I think Laker fans have been waiting for Mark to be a part of that offense. Frank Vogel said it after the Clipper loss. I got to get him more involved. He needs to facilitate, and he did just that. 8 assists, the 4 blocks, huge, especially coming into the game. The Lakers only averaging 3 blocks a game. Tonight, they had 14. 7 rebounds. Here's another big one. 3 for 3 from three-point land. We know Marc Gasol can shoot it, and he did just that. So he goes 12, 8, and 7. James, I'm not sure how many big centers can do what he did tonight, facilitating, running the offense through him from the top of the key. He makes the right decisions. He's so good on that backdoor cut, and then he stretches the floor as well.
Kind of like his brother. He's got a high IQ for the game. And if you're a player that's worrying about not having any plays called for you or not getting enough shots, you get in the game with Marc Gasol and you just move and cut. When he starts to knock down that 3, Geeter, it's going to be very valuable to a team if he can stretch the floor like that.
Yeah, short preseason, for a veteran player like Marc Gasol joining a new team. The more time we get into this season, the more confident he feels about how he can work with his new teammates, where guys like to receive the basketball, and getting himself into basketball condition, which is different. And for bigs, it really is different. This was good to see tonight. I think the offense, without Anthony Davis in particular, Gasol's going to have the basketball in his hands more. So finding this rhythm with AD out there is going to be key as well.
Guys, I want to talk about Kyle Kuzma. And hear me out on this. We show a lot of stats with Kuz. When he starts, his numbers compared to when he's coming off the bench, he gets a higher volume. This might be my favorite Kuzma game. I'll tell you why. He started. He set the tone with 14 first quarter points. He had 4 threes, James. But then after that, he didn't overshoot. He didn't go, I'm going to get 30. He just played tough defense, had 3 blocks, had 3 assists, actually gave up a couple easy buckets to get other guys involved. Finished
Self to know how to play with this group and know how to be a professional player, not having to score all the time, a lot of intangibles, learning to share the ball, understanding that the game is fun when you're not scoring all the time. And I think he's finally getting that. AD out of the game, he knew he had some more shots coming to him tonight, but he didn't really, pretend to be greedy about it. He was still blocking shots, 2 block shots in the first quarter, giving up easy layups to assist to his teammates. So he's getting it because, after all, he's a champion now. So he knows how to do it.
And having the examples of how to do that, right? Early in Kuz's career, you're surrounded with other peers and people your age, young players, Lonzo, B.I., Julius Randle, et cetera, guys that were young and trying to find themselves. Everybody's playing fast. Everybody's in a hurry to show what they can do. Over the last couple seasons, Rajon Rondo, Dwight Howard, Avery Bradley, Anthony Davis, LeBron James.
The list goes on and on.
So now you're seeing veteran Hall of Fame guys approaching their job a certain way. That starts to rub off a little bit, and then you add that championship to it. Oh, that's fun. I want to do that again.
Yeah.
So let me continue to do the things that helped us to get there.
Maturing, getting a ring, contract extension, all that stuff, Fish. What can it do for a young player? And why do we see that jump year 3 to 4 so often?
Well, I think especially for young men, like our ego, the desire to want to achieve is so high. It just takes a little time for you to start to understand some things about becoming from a teenager when you first come into this profession to becoming a young adult man. So those things about life and job, etc., there's no handbook for that. You have to learn those things. From a basketball perspective, it is hard to explain to everyone at home how important it is to have a guy like LeBron James to observe on a daily basis. I saw it with Kobe Bryant for 13 and a half years. I saw it with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City. I've seen what it means to have franchise players that approach things a certain way. That also helps, I think, with the maturity and an understanding of how you need to do things in order to be great.
Yeah, well said.
I came in a #1 draft pick, thought I was hot, pretty hot. Not so. I had Kareem, I had Magic, I had Bob McAdoo, I was on the bus with Jamal Wilkes. I had a lot of people to observe and learn the game. I had talent. I had the talent, but I didn't have the know-how yet. So I get it. Kuz is 25. He's only 25. You peak around 28, 30. So LeBron will probably play 3 or 4 more years. He and AD, he's going to be really good in a couple of more years if he continues to grow like he's growing, Geeter.
All right, well, let's get you to the highlights. Anthony Davis out with a calf injury. In 91, Minnesota had been averaging 115 points per game, but as Fish mentioned, second night of a back-to-back, not happening here at Staples. Kuz goes for 20, efficient. LeBron 18, Gasol 12, 6 players in double figures. Let's hear from Frank Vogel. He's speaking with the media over the Zoom.
First of all, how'd you come out of that health-wise? Looked like LeBron tweaked his ankle again, and just overall, what'd you think of the offense tonight?
Yeah, well, like you said, LeBron tweaked his tweaked his ankle. We're going to list him as questionable for tomorrow night. See how he feels tomorrow, and Alex Caruso also strained a muscle in his hand. Same deal. We'll list him as questionable. We'll see how he feels tomorrow. Alex probably could have returned if it were a closer game, but we erred on the side of caution. And offensively, really liked their ball movement. I thought Kuz set a great tone for us early in the game. We're really trying to grow his movement, catch and shoot game, and you know, it's just a great night for him, showing all the work he's been putting in. But really set a tone for us, you know, moving the ball, shooting threes that are open. And, you know, Mark at the top of the key, you know, we finally saw sort of what we can look like when we play through him with his passing up there.
Okay, we're going to go with Dave McMenamin.
Frank, considering what we spoke about this morning and pregame about AD and the nature of back-to-backs and the intention of playing guys, but obviously if there's anything extenuating that would change things, are you leaning any way on LeBron tomorrow, considering it is a back-to-back and obviously the ankle's now been tweaked twice in 3 games?
Not really leaning one way or the other. We're going to see how he feels tomorrow, you know, and you know, we'll make those decisions on a case-by-case, game-by-game basis throughout the year. And you know, if he's healthy and wants to play, we'll put him in there. But you know, we'll see how he feels tomorrow.
Okay, we're going to go with Dan Wikey, please.
Hey, Frank. Kyle has always been a willing kind of shooter and scorer, but there was a play in the first half, I think, where he's on a fast break and he makes the extra pass to get KCP a layup. He had the 2 block shots. How much of it do you think tonight was the other things in the first half in addition to the shot making?
Well, Kuz has really become a hell of a player, you know, and you know, playing in the role that he played in last year, where, you know, there was games where he wasn't really that involved in the offense and had to impact the game in other ways. I think in the long run is really going to help his game. So many young players, you know, they come into this league in different environments, and you know, they're asked to carry a big load offensively, and when you're doing that, you know, sometimes you shortcut some of the other parts of the game. And you know, Kuz has really worked on his defense. He's really worked on his rebounding, his cutting, his running the floor, all those types of things. And you know, I think you saw that tonight when he started scoring the ball, that he didn't force. You know, that was the most impressive thing I think of his night, is when he got red hot. You know, when the ball was swinging to him, defense was rotating. You know, he didn't take heat check type shots. You know, he just kept moving on to the next guy. When he was open, he knocked it down. And you know, I was just really impressed with that aspect of his game tonight.
Okay, Bill Orm, please.
Hey, Frank, you talked before the game about how this game would test your depth. I'm just curious if you learned anything about about that depth in a situation where you didn't have one of your 2 stars and you didn't necessarily know who was going to step up. Was this how you saw it working, or did you learn something you didn't know about your team?
Well, this is what I hoped we would be. You know, and this team was undermanned, so it you know, when we learned that Cat was out, it becomes a trap game, right? You know, their best player's out, and you know, they have an opportunity to come in here and catch us sleeping, and we didn't do that. You know, there's a lot of upsets around the league today, and you know, our guys came in with the mindset that, you know, we weren't happy with our defense the first 2 games. We're going to really pick that up, and we really got after it. You know, and like you said, the depth, I think, was on display tonight with the many ways that this team can put points on the board, and you know, the defensive talent that we have
here.
It almost just happened.
Almost. Yeah.
By the way, I got some highlights for you guys. Love to show you this. It was a game before the Laker game. Clippers hosting the Mavericks in a matinee. Kawhi, of course, sitting out. We hope he's doing okay after that elbow he took. Mavs going to start off on a 10-2 run. Luka's having fun on the fast break. Second quarter, Mavs are going to open it up a little bit. Josh Richardson, a 3 on the break. Mavs are up 54-16, Allie. Ooh. Late in the quarter, Luka pulls up, 9 boards, 8 assists, 24 points. I believe after this bucket, it's 77-27 at half, down 50. The previous record in the shot clock era was 47 with the Warriors over the Kings in 1991, so a new record at Staples, 124-73. We got another record. First time in NBA history, 2 games were decided by 35 points or more in the same arena on the same day. So a lot of history going down on December 27th. Access 360, Fish. What do you got for us? It's a great day. Football on, fun times.
Geez, you feeling good, boy? You feeling good tonight?
Yeah, Fish. Are you going to the wall?
I'm going to the wall this time for sure.
See the teamwork, Allie. Gonna go chill. We might never see her again.
Let's go.
You are so.
All right.
Oh, man. Later, big game.
Great offensive night for the Lakers tonight, but let's look at some Lakers defense here. Marc Gasol, good one-on-one defender, old school vet, getting to that ball before it gets above the offensive player's hips, knocks it out. Lakers out in transition here. Markieff should be getting back, should be the first one back, but THT recovers, doesn't give up on the play, prevents Hernan Gomez from finishing. Keith gets the rebound, Lakers off to it. Montrez blocks and contests the first one, doesn't quit on the play. Markieff here, block, Lakers out in transition again. And then good defense, activity on the backside, good closeout, keeping them out of the middle. Wes Matthews forcing them down here. Markieff there, Montrez in the drop position, good verticality, keeps his arms up, see, showing them how he kept his arms up. So just, good Lakers defense that leads to them getting out in transition where they're unstoppable at that point. And they'll have to keep that up tomorrow, especially against a really good offensive Portland Trailblazers team.
You're having a great first half of the show.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Geets.
Game high 20 points for Kyle Kuzma in the win. You're welcome. He's speaking with Mike in the media. Job, James.
Hey, Kuz, 9 starts last year, mostly when LeBron or AD sat, and you averaged right around 20. You had that in the first half tonight. What is it about playing with that unit, getting a chance to get a rhythm, shots, etc., that seems to help flow and the efficiency?
Just more opportunity. Obviously we got 2 superstars, and rightfully so. But when one of those guys are out, I just have more opportunity.
Yeah, first half especially, some of those passes were coming from Marc Gasol. He said that he likes the way that you cut. He's obviously pretty good at seeing the floor. How has that little 2-man relationship helped you on offense, and how much do you think that can be a thing moving forward?
Really good. Right after he signed, I just dove deep into film, watching him, realizing how great of a passer he was, and anytime I'm with him, I just try to play, whether that's 2-man games, Boston cuts, any type of movement, because I know he's going to find me. So.
If I have this right, I don't think he took a shot in the second half that Frank just mentioned last year, helping the all-around game. What were you seeing out there if that was the case?
I just didn't have shots. Maybe could have took 1 or 2, but just try to take what the defense gave me, and I saw a lot of open men out there. Obviously being hot in the first half, I was a focal point for their defense in the second half, so used that to my advantage, and had that gravity, and my teammates just kept pouring it in.
Okay. We're going to go with Kyle Good next, please.
Hey, Kuz. Frank said he feels like some of the ways you had to adapt to find different ways to impact the game last year really has helped move your game forward this year. Do you feel that's true? And if so, has that taken you time to kind of appreciate the effect that playing and sort of that adaptable role has had on your game?
Obviously last year just trying to find ways to find extra minutes and scrap, and knowing that even now it's not about scoring with myself, because just the firepower that we have, and just the overall makeup of my team, it's never really about scoring anymore. So I just try to find ways to impact the game and just take shots when I have them, and it's made me a better player. So it's really just looking at the forest instead of looking at the tree ahead of you, and treating it as a marathon, and just year by year just trying to add to my game. whether or not stats reflect it, but just improving and adding it all up year by year.
Assists, all Lakers, 127-91 for the second consecutive game. They shoot 56%, 13-35 from three, 32 assists. They did it all, and of course, the number one bench in the league does it again for 58 points. 18-9 for LeBron, just 26 minutes. He's speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, LeBron, I don't want to encroach on McMenamin's turf here by asking about the wines and ankle ratio and all that, but I will. Anyway, how's it feeling? And clearly look fine, but what's the status?
I mean, it's been better, but it feels pretty good. Obviously, tomorrow, once I go to sleep and lay down, will be the telltale sign of how good or how not good it is. So I don't want to say I'm looking forward to that, but we'll see tomorrow.
I just wanted to ask you about playing with Marc Gasol and somebody with that hoops IQ and the way that he passes. He made some comments after the game about kind of the way that you see the game, like so few do. When you have two guys at the same time, like a little bit like you and Rondo last year maybe, what does that do and what have you learned about him early so far?
There's certain guys that just see plays before they happen and able to do it with their mind, do it with the pass, and Marc is one of those guys. Just his basketball IQ. It's like he said, there's not many that kind of see the game like that. So, I've been privileged to back-to-back years to be alongside Doe and now be alongside Marc, who sees the game very similar to that the way I see it.
Okay, David McMenamin.
LeBron, you mentioned the other night when talking about your offense that you could have had 40 assists. Tonight you have 32, put 6 guys in double figures when AD doesn't even play. What are the offensive metrics and goals? What should they be for this collection that you guys have with the Lakers this year?
There's no we don't set out a goal for how many assists we want to have per night, but we want to move the ball. We shouldn't take many bad shots, if any at all, because we have so many body movement, player movement, and we have so many guys that can just make shots. But we got guys that can make the right play, make the right pass, from Dennis to Marc to myself. You've seen some unbelievable passes from Kuz tonight, AC, and the list goes on and on. That the guys that could just make the right play. So, no one should ever feel pressured to take a bad shot when guarded, because we can always get the ball moving from side to side. Attract two defenders and get it spraying out. And as you saw, multiple actions tonight. Kuz had a drive where he was able to skip it to me, and I had a shot, but we had a greater shot to Marc, and Marc was able to drain that one. And then another instance where we moved the ball, shared the ball all the way around. KCP came off, could have fired a 3, but he hit Marc again at the top of the key, then went back door and got an and 1. So we have the ability to do some great things offensively. That's just not, it shouldn't be, feel pressure about it.
Okay, Kyle Boone, please.
Hey, LeBron. A couple weeks before the season, you shared on social media that you thought Kyle was going to be the breakout player of the year. What are you seeing from him so far? Obviously, when he makes threes like it was tonight, we all see that. But what do you see, sort of the edges of his game getting more refined to kind of fulfill that prediction?
The game is just slowing down for him. His ability to score the ball, we all know about that. His shot-making ability, either guarded or unguarded. But what he's done this year so far, what he did through our short training camp, and what he did actually, later in the postseason, you started to see the extra pass. He started seeing plays happening, and you look at the pass that he had to KCP in transition tonight. You see the dump off that he had to Trez for a dunk. He's just starting to make plays and see plays, that he didn't see, in his first couple of years, and that's all part of growth. He's in year 4, and the game is just slowing down tremendously for him. And he's going out there and just playing the game.
Okay, Dan Mikey, please.
Hey, LeBron. How adaptable is this team going to have to be this year with guys kind of being in and out for whatever reason? And how adaptable do you think you guys look tonight? It seemed like nobody tried to do too much. Is kind of the takeaway.
Yeah, that's going to be our identity. No one should ever feel like they need to do too much. Like we have so many players that can go out and make plays. So no one should, like I said, no one should ever feel pressured to go and do too much. We are a ball movement team. We want body movement. It's great energy behind the pass. And when you have that movement, everyone feels comfortable. Everyone feels like they're a part of it. So we want to continue that throughout the whole season. And no matter who's in the lineup, no matter who's out of the lineup, we still want to play Laker basketball.
Okay, we'll just take a couple more questions. Jovan Buha, please.
Hey, LeBron. Heading into the game, Frank had said that defense had been a point of emphasis after the first 2 games. You guys had a season-high 14 blocks tonight. I'm curious what you thought of the performance, especially the rim protection.
We just took it to heart. We want to be one of the best defensive teams in the league, if not the best, and we took that to heart. After our first 2 games of the season, we wanted to get our percentages down. And I thought we played swarming defense tonight against a team that can score. No matter who's out there for them, they have guys that can score. So, we took that to heart. What coach and coaching staff wanted us to go out and do, and I think we executed that.
Okay, Kari Jones, please.
What's going on, LeBron?
What's going on?
What does wins like this do for the team? Like, does it give you opportunity to kind of do different lineups to see what works? Because I know it's still early on in the season.
It's still early in the season, and we have the ability to play a lot of different combinations with our lineups, and a coach has the ability to play different guys and play a lot of guys. We have a lot of guys that's deserving of minutes. So who's ever out on the floor at that particular time is going to play Laker basketball, and that's all we ask of each other. We're going to hold each other responsible and hold each other accountable. So tonight was an example of that.
All right, thanks so much, LeBron.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
All right, LeBron James, check this out. He has tied Kevin Garnett, 4th best all time, 1,260 straight games with 10 points. Most games with 10 points or more, ties Kevin Durant for 4th all time. So that's pretty cool. The ankle obviously going to be a little sore fish, James, Allie, but we expect LeBron to be just fine, don't we?
Yeah, he's gotten through little minor injuries and monitors himself very well. I don't think he'll play if he feels he can't. But just listening to that interview there, it really makes Coach Vogel's job. I'm not going to say it makes it easier, but it really makes it easier to maintain his players when you got a leader like that talking about other players and what he sees in them. And sounds like a coach when he was doing the interview right there.
I'm curious, Al. You spent so much time with him and so much responsibility. We saw it here his first year, and then he got hurt. Last year, he took that role of point guard, but he also had Rondo. And now you see this team around him, and he doesn't have to do it every single night. How important is that, do you think, for LeBron James?
Yeah, I just think when you think of the longevity and what he can still bring to the game at such a high level, it's one of the big storylines, and it's what we have been keeping our eye on with this team in particular, is that opportunities like now with the depth in which the Lakers possess, it just allows for him to, one, get his body right and be in a position to feel as best as he can. Because you look at moments like tonight, and was that Christmas? Two games out of 3, right? When you're tweaking an ankle and you have an opportunity to not lose footing and to continue to still grow as a team, even if he does have to take a game or so off. Because the one thing he takes a lot of pride in is durability, being available. But he's not going to be available at half go. He's a guy that's going to give it and make sure when he's out there, it's because he's going to be 100%.
Especially this early in the season. We're 3 games in, Fish, right?
Yeah, we're 3 games in, but we have to remember this is an unprecedented short runway for the Lakers, for the Heat, for players that play deep into the postseason. 71, 72 days between the end of the 20 season and then now the beginning of 2021. So I believe LeBron he's figuring out how he's going to need to manage himself in a different way than he has in any other situation in his career. But I think we can all trust that he's going to take the time to figure out that process. Nights where he can get 18, 7, and 6, and they can win by 30.
We're okay.
he's cool.
Okay.
He's going to take it.
And then there's going to be nights where he knows he needs to put the hammer down and get him over the hump.
All right, still to come on Access, Kyle Kuzma with the dish. Caldwell Pope does a perfect 3 for 3 from the field, scoring 8 points. He's speaking with Brez.
Hey, KCP. Wanted to talk with you about how you guys have changed just since the opener. You've outscored your last 2 opponents by almost 60 points. What's gone into that, do you think?
Just getting comfortable with each other. You know, tonight, man, we were just flowing tonight. We was playing off each other, especially Mark at the top of the key. He was like dishing the ball out all night. Cruz played a great game, you know, all around. It was just being comfortable with each other. You know, every game we get comfortable, every practice we get comfortable with each other, and that chemistry is just building each and every day.
Yeah, you mentioned Marcus Gasol. How important was it for him to get out there tonight and kind of get close to a triple-double, actually? Definitely his best game as a Laker, and especially without Anthony Davis in the lineup.
I mean, that probably don't get his rhythm going. You know, I know the game before that, you know, he was in foul trouble, didn't get a chance to play a lot. But tonight, you know, he was great. You know, he was moving the ball. He was contesting shots at the rim, no fouls. And he was just playing. You know, he played a great game.
And you also mentioned Kyle Kuzma. It seems like he has good numbers most of the time, but especially when you put him in that starting lineup. What do you see kind of, do you see like a light switching on for him whenever he joins that starting 5?
Oh, man, I don't know what was in him tonight. He had so much energy coming out to start the game. You know, he hit them quick 2-3 threes in a row. And we were just rolling with him. Like, you know, every play was for him until they stopped it. He was tremendous tonight. You know, he played confident, comfortable, tremendous confidence, shooting the ball. The mindset was just focused on the game tonight. He came out and played well.
Lakers win 127-91. We'll be right back after this. Of course, coming to town, CJ McCollum. We're not sure who's playing for the Lakers, but it should be a great test.
Yeah, Minnesota came in here on a back-to-back game. Lakers go Portland on a back-to-back game. You know they'll be ready. The Lakers will be tested. We don't know what the status of LeBron or AD is going to be. So continuation of what they did tonight, great effort, sharing the ball. That's a good start.
This was the first-round opponent for the Lakers in these past playoffs, too. So
that's what I was just thinking. And when you get a crack at that team that eliminated you from the playoffs the year before,
yeah,
trust me, you swinging for the fences, buddy.
Yeah. A healthy Portland team, too, they're not going to be an 8 seed this year.
No.
Should be higher.
Should be higher. It'll be an interesting season, but Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, Rodney Hood is back healthy, Derrick Jones Jr., they got a lot of talent on that team. It'll be interesting to watch.
Can't wait to see you take your shot tomorrow. You were good today.